Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs, and in this video, I am thrilled to introduce you to our April 2023 Goodies Bundle Club fabric collection, Filigree. Before we look at the fabrics, I wanted to introduce you to Filigree. Filigree is designed by Zen Chic for Moda Fabrics, and the designer, Brigitte, was born and raised in Germany, and she still lives and operates her company from Germany. I've been an admirer of her fabric designs ever since her first line of fabric back in 2013. And what mainly always draws me to her fabrics are her beautiful striking color combinations. They have that little bit of a minimalistic Scandinavian style. So I just am always really drawn to it, and Filigree was no exception with its striking colors and really visual prints. So this main print is really what did it for me. I knew I wanted to use it for our bundle club. So let's start with our fabrics. I'm going to talk about the fabrics. Now there is one little change that you will notice in your bundle. There's one fabric that didn't make it, so we replaced it with this beautiful spotted gray fabric, which she designs also. We have a couple of other spotteds in here, so it seemed like it was a perfect mix, so we wouldn't mess up the balance of the bundle. So we'll start over here on the yellow side. I balanced it out so there's 3 yellows, 3 taupes, 3 grays, and then 3 on the blacker side. Now there are transitional colors. This even though it would belong to the blacks, is a little bit on the gray side. And then also with this lighter gray, in transition nicely from the taupe into the grays. But we'll start with, you'll have all the listings of your fabrics here, not necessarily in this order, but I just wanted to show you all of them up close. So we have this beautiful main print, this newspaper collage print with alphabet letters and kind of overlays with the little botanical prints. Really love this one. So this one is repeated again later in the bundle. We have the dandelions, and so what makes this fabric so unique and minimalistic and modern is, of course, the really flat background, and then just the simple designs in black on top. Then we have a spotted, so this is a new color that came with this line, so it has a little bit of gray and a little bit of white in it. I really love that because it really adds to the texture. Going into the taupe colors, we have this, another minimalistic design, just these little brush strokes, or they call it strokelets, or seeds, and they are white on this really nice taupe. They call it stone, this color. Then we have a spotted, again with a darker taupe and the white in there as well. Then we have the seeds print. So this is also the taupe base, but black seeds on it. I love this. She's done a similar print before. I love it. This is a little bit larger scale. Going into the grays, or they're calling it graphite. So this is the dots, and I really love these dots because they look like they've been hand stamped. So you have irregularities across, and then there's no order of them. So it's just a nice print that's going to mix in well with anything else. We have the dandelions again on the graphite, and then we have the spotted graphite. You will notice in your booklet that there was supposed to be a grid, but we added this one in because it was didn't arrive to us, and I think it's a great addition. Then we have the newspaper print here. It's called black, but as you notice, it's a little bit charcoal gray, so it's not a pure black like the last 2 prints, and I really like that. Then we have the seeds on black, and they have the multicolor, so we have a couple of other colors here in as accents that are not represented in the fabrics. That's the green and the orange. And so we have then the dots fabric again in multicolor on the black, so we have the white, orange, yellow, and green, as well as taupe and gray. So all the colors come together in this dot print, which is really nice. So those are the 12 fabrics in your bundle. And of course we did a fabric pull. So you will see the fabric pull here And if you wanted to add any of these, easiest way, just scan this QR code. It will take you right to the page on our website where you can find all these fabrics that are in the pull. So I'm going to start out with the blacks. We have one of hers spotted in the black. We have this one is called Spotted Ink, so it has a little bit of gray and a little bit of white, so it will have a little bit of a texture mixing in. Then I chose a deco stitch in the Stellar, so it has a little bit of gray in there, so that tones well with some of the other grays, and it's still a very nice pure black. For the grays, I chose a Provisions in the Stone color, which transitions really nicely between the two, lighter and the darker, because it's lights and darks in here. A nice modern print. And then another one of hers, which is Spotted Aluminum with some black and light grays in it. So it's a nice transition, nice blender with everything else. So then I'm going to show you the taupe fabrics. I chose the floral elements in the khaki. So this one has a little bit light, so it tones really nicely with the yellows, but it's a great taupe, almost the same exact color as here in the little grass fabric. And then I chose a little bit warmer tone with the Provisions in the linen color. So you'll see it has some tones that will match perfectly, and then a little bit warmer tones, a little bit more yellow, which plays well with the yellows in here. Then we have the yellow fabrics. We have two. I have Chalk and Charcoal in the Wheat, so a nice gold. We'll pull out some of the warmer tones in the yellows. And then I have a Bumbleberries in the Custard, which has a mixture of the lighter and the darker. So this will be a great addition with some of the golds in the bundle. Now, if you wanted to add a background, I have two backgrounds pulled, although I'll be showing you some more light fabrics. I have a Deco Stitch Airy, which I would choose kind of an off-white to go with this, not a pure white, off-white, or just a little bit of an eggshell. And then so here the other one would be a grunge eggshell that I pulled with this one. If you wanted to add a little color, kind of a focused fabric, an accent color, I would definitely be pulling the colors we see in the print, so the green and the orange. And so for the green, I chose a beautiful Bumbleberries in the golden green. It really matches that golden bright green here perfectly, so that will be a great accent, as well as the color wash in the scratch orange. So it's a really nice and bright, not too deep orange. And so it really plays off of nicely with all the colors and works well. One little surprise one that I found that I think would be really awesome with it is we have a beautiful black and white plaid dot with orange in it. So if it wasn't made for this with the dots and the black and white, I don't know what would be more perfect to throw in there. So these are my fabric pulls. Like I said, just scan here and it will take you right to the links for all of those fabrics. So next up is looking at some of the patterns that we chose to work with using this line. We made 3 quilts, and so we're going to start with the first one, which is the Kite Runner. Now this is a single pattern available as a PDF, and it is made with fat quarters along with some sashing and border fabrics. So let's take a look at what I used with this fabric. So for our sashing, I used a spotted off-white. So this is one of her basics that she pulled in with a line, so it has a little bit of gray, and it's beautiful. She's used this in previous fabric lines, has a lot of texture. So that was our sashing fabric. For the narrow border, we used actually another spotted from the line or from the bundle, which is called Spotted in the Saffron. For the border, wide border, and the backing, we used the newsprint, main print, in the graphite color. So this is a little bit lighter gray than what is in the bundle, so it worked really nicely as the border. And then for the binding, we pulled in another spotted jet black, which is one of the basic spotted colors, but it works really perfectly as just a dark binding for our quilt. So you could use up the whole bundle and make up to a king size quilt with this, which you would need 24 fat quarters, but I just used 10 fat quarters to make the lap size. The next pattern we chose to use this fabric with is the Zoe pattern, which is found in our Stripology Mixology 3 book, and this pattern is made with 10-inch squares. So we made the lap size, but we decided to use a single fabric for the light, so we actually could have made a twin size quilt just using 10-inch squares from the bundle. So you'll need 24 for the lap size. And so as far as our background, so we used all of the fabrics in the bundle for our darks, and then for our lights, we used the Filigree white dots. So having all of those beautiful colors gave a lot of texture and movement to our quilt this way. And so for the second border, we used the spotted and the saffron again for that nice setting yellow border. And for the third border, for the wide border, for the third border, so we also bordered the first border with this print, second border with a yellow, and then the third border is with a black seed. So also in the bundle, but available in 3 yards and 1 yards. Beautiful, sharp black border. And so this is what we used for that. And we used this for the binding as well. For the backing of this quilt, we used another coloring of the newspaper collage print. This one is just called Filigree Off White, and it is just gorgeous for the back of this quilt. The third quilt we made is a classic from years back, and I love the way it looks. This is Strips and Salsa, and just taking a new spin on it with these modern fabrics just really changed it up. So what I did with the bundle, I cut my 10-inch squares for Zoe, and I only needed some 24 strips for the lap size Strips and Salsa. So I cut 2.5-inch strips. I needed 2 from each of the fabrics. But you could, of course, expand it and make a little bit larger quilt. So for that background, that beautiful background, we used a dandelion in the white. So then you have all the different colors of the dandelions on the off-white background, and this one just was really cool and created a really beautiful backdrop for the strips. For our binding, I wanted it to be kind of light, so we used another color from this line. It is called Spotted in the Zen Gray, so a new color, but it has dark gray and light gray. But I loved how it just created a really nice light colored binding. For the backing, I used the same as we did with the Zoe. I used that newsprint, collage print in the off-white. So all of these are available, like I said, in 3 yards and 1 yards. The spotted colors are available in 1 yards except for the black and white. So let's review all of the fabrics that we have available that go with this line. There are a couple more that we are not seeing here. So here we have a list of all the fabrics. You have a QR code that you can scan easily to find, go straight to the listing of all the fabrics. So we have the Spotted Zen Gray and what I just showed you. So this one is a new color. We have the Spotted Jet Black, and we also have the Spotted in the off-white, which we saw as the sashing for the kite runner. And then we have the Spotted in the saffron, which is not shown here in your booklet, but we have these available in 1 yards. Then we have the seeds in the black. And we have the 2 off-white fabrics. So we have the dots off-white, and we have the dandelions in the off-white. And we have one more that is not listed in your booklet that is also from the line, and that is the Filigree Strokelets in the black. So a nice one, another nice black one you could add. We have the 2 newspaper prints. We have the graphite, and then we have the off-white. So lots of options, lots of fun fabrics to add to this bundle and play with. And like I said, we have all of them in 1 yards, and the ones we have in 3 yards is the 2 newspaper prints. We have both the dandelions and the dots, which are here. And then we have the seeds in the black. We have the strokelets in the black, and then both the black and off-white spotteds. So lots of fun to be had, great ones, 3-yard cuts to use for backings. So I hope you take some inspiration and enjoy making some of these quilts. Just as an extra inspiration, I thought we would show you the edge-to-edge long arm quilting patterns we used on the 3 quilts. So let's start with a kite runner. For that one, we used a beautiful, easy, simple pattern called 3-leaf clover. It was one of those that just came with our machine. And we used a nice, soft gray thread, kind of a medium gray thread that really blended nicely everywhere in the quilt. For the Zoe quilt, we used another pattern that came with our machine called Geometric 1. And a nice off-white, almost a soft yellow thread. So a little bit tighter quilt pattern, nice and geometric, so it adds a lot of interest and ties it all together with that colorful background. For our strips and salsa quilt, we used a pattern by the Long Arm League called Driftwood. And I really like how they're just irregular, wavy lines kind of across the quilt. So it really lets the graphic design of the strips really shine. If you are one of our lucky subscribers of Goodies Bundle Club and received this beautiful shipment of filigree, I hope you are really enjoying it and planning something beautiful to make. We really enjoyed putting it all together, and so make sure that some of those extra fabrics that you might need to make your quilts, make sure you snatch them up. They are now available in the store. Now, of course, if you are not a subscriber but are interested in joining Goodies Bundle Club, check it out on the website. We may have spots open. If we don't at this time, you can always put your email in there so that you get notified whenever a spot opens up for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.